You're listening to Podcast PXN, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Let's do this. What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 116. I am one of your hosts, Daniel Prindle, a.k.a. I don't know how to speak right now. I'm so tired. A.k.a. Dan is DTM on Twitter, and I am joined over Discord by the Nintendo aficionado, Roshan at Roro. What's up?
I'm doing good. I know you're sleepy, Daniel, but I'm sure you're very excited that today is Halo Day.
Yes, very excited. And yes, nervous about that flight tomorrow, as we were talking about in the pre-show.
Yes, even more so, like it's Halo Day, but it is Game Awards Eve, and you're going to see Christian there. So yeah, exciting times.
Yep, Christian is on his way to the airport as we speak to go there. So yes. Thank you to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN, twitch.tv/Podcast PXN, and Twitter as well. The topic of the show this week, Ro, is there is none. We are just doing news this week. We're trying to get a quick show in before Daniel has to fall asleep and go on his plane flight in the morning. But, bro, the show always starts with the PXN News of the Week, and so let's go ahead.
With the PXN News of the Week, too.
Yes. And jump right in. The quick bites, Ro. Here we go. Marcus Phoenix and Kate Diaz are officially coming to Fortnite. I thought this was pretty neat. Of course, Epic Games created the Gears franchise, which is just crazy. It's come full circle, and here we are. We're getting Fortnite skins for Kate and Marcus.
Yeah.
Heck.
Yeah, I haven't played the Gears franchise, but they look cool. I like their skins.
Yes. Ro, our next little quick bite. There are two new suits from Spider-Man No Way Home, which I'm sure you are excited about, coming to Spider-Man Remastered for PS5. They look real nice. Ro, what are your thoughts on these guys?
Yeah, I thought they looked really cool. I'm not a huge fan of the Inside Out suit just yet. I'm sure I will be when I watch the movie and get all the context to it, but it's okay. But I do like the Stark Tech one. It looks really cool, and I really want them to put the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit in the game. I understand why they haven't. First of all, they have the first one in there already, plus it's kind of similar to suits that are already in there, so I get it, but I want that suit so bad. But yeah, I'm so happy for Insomniac still giving us skins. That's so cool.
Yes. Yeah. As a huge Spider-Man fan, I'm sure you want all of the Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I will never be satisfied.
All right, moving to our last quick bite, Row. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is officially coming January 28th to PlayStation 5 and PC sometime later in 2022. They did also announce that if you own any version of Uncharted 4 or Uncharted The Lost Legacy, or the digital bundle for PlayStation 4, you can pay $10 to upgrade to receive the PS5 remaster of both the Legacy of Thieves, so both A Thief's End and The Lost Legacy, which I think that's fair. That's a pretty fair upgrade, honestly, for a PS5, quote unquote remaster for both games, and you only had to own one essentially previously, so that's pretty cool, especially for people maybe who didn't pick up Lost Legacy or something. So.
Yeah, not bad.
Loved it. We love to see it. Just like we love to see Brenty in the chat saying, yo, Roshan and Daniel, what's going on, boys? Have a good one and hope all is well. Thank you, Brenty.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
We are doing good.
Yes.
Hope you're doing good too.
Yes. Moving in, Ro, to our first news story. These are well titled here, as I kind of went a little bit off the off the cuff here, but I'm gonna do it anyways. We've got a couple of stories that kind of, they don't exactly coincide with one another, but they kind of do based on how I titled them. So we're gonna say this. Fuck you, Take-Two. Like, what the hell are you doing? Take-Two has sent a trademark claim to Hazelight Studios because of It Takes Two, forcing Hazelight to abandon any ownership of the game's name. No details yet whether the game will be renamed or how this impacts its sales/marketing. Stupid. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. It just feels like a thing that you would do just to do it. Like you didn't have to do this. You just want to be a bad guy. Yeah, it really made no sense, it seemed like to me. Unless there is some business side to this that I'm not understanding. Even if there is, it's so clearly separate from what you're doing that I don't know. It's a, as you said, F you, Take-Two. That's really all it boils down to right now.
And it's like nobody's misunderstanding It Takes Two with Take-Two, the company. Like that's two completely different. Like I gave the example to Gage, I think I was talking to the other night on Halo when we were playing. I was like, that's like, Microsoft has Game Pass for Xbox. Well, the NFL also has something called Game Pass where you can watch all NFL games. People aren't confusing NFL Game Pass with Xbox Game Pass. They're two completely different things. Like, it's just...
Yeah. And can you imagine if NFL tried to sue Microsoft over that or something? Or the other way around?
Right.
It's just so silly.
Really.
Christian in the chat is surprised by your vulgar language, Dan.
Oh, so you're surprised by that, Christian? Well, have I got the second follow-up for you? Fuck you, Activision. Activision, after promising QA for months that Activision was working towards a pay restructure to increase their wages, Raven Software has laid off a significant portion of its QA team. So if people don't know, Raven Software mainly develop Call of Duty Warzone, which is the Battle Royale mode for Call of Duty. And they're essentially saying, yes, we don't care. QA, you guys get out of here. We just finished wrapping up our new map for Warzone. We're going to push that out. And, yep, you guys are all gone. We don't need you.
Right in time for the holidays.
Yeah.
I remember when Activision laid off like 500 or so, 400 or so employees that one year. I think it was 2 years back. And I feel like it was around the same time. Like, what is their deal with doing it around the most expensive and supposed to be most wholesome time of the year? But it's so weird. And there was another. I watched like a call of Big Boss laying off their employees. It wasn't in games though, but it was so heartbreaking to see. So I can't imagine how these people are feeling just to come to work and then told to go home. I don't know how this news was delivered, but I can't imagine it was a good feeling. But the games industry is rough, and it doesn't have to be like this. So
yeah, very disappointing, and continues the bull crap that's going on with Activision, and nothing's being done about their CEO at the top that continues to be the CEO, and it's just that company is an absolute just embarrassment to the game industry at this point. So not good. Moving on to a little bit lighter news, Ro, which I'm sure you will be happy for. Sonic 2, the movie trailer, is coming to the Game Awards as well as the next Sonic game. How excited are you?
So excited. Like when I saw him teasing it with Fidel a couple of days ago, then I talked to you guys about in the chat. I was like, oh, maybe it's just the movie. And I would be happy about the movie. Of course, I am happy about the movie getting a trailer, but I was also so happy that we're also getting a tease of the game at the Game Awards too. So those joined together. So happy. Ben Schwartz and Jim Carrey are going to be there as well, who I think did fantastic in their respective roles in the first movie. I wasn't expecting like Jim Carrey as much as I did as Eggman, but Jim Carrey is a freaking legendary actor, so I don't know what I was thinking anyway. But yeah, it was a great movie, and I can't wait to see the trailer tomorrow, because the poster that they released today was awesome. It was awesome. Got me very hyped. Yeah.
And it seems like Jim Carrey's going full Robotnik at this point.
Yes. Yeah. Bald hair, got the goggles, the mustache. Yeah, I'm loving it.
It's gonna be good. But also, Ro, we also got confirmation, and there was rumors about this, but now confirmation that Halo TV series is getting a trailer at the Game Awards also.
How excited are you?
Very excited, and they gave us like a little 3-second teaser that gave us Oh, it looks so good. The budget, the budget's got to be Ash. I mean, even Gage, who has been down on it the entire time, Gage.
Calling you out, Gage.
Yeah. Even he said, he's like, man, that actually looked a lot higher value than production value than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, I tried to tell you, you didn't listen. But yeah, very excited.
Yes, Christian, it does look amazing. Both Halo and Sonic look amazing.
Yes. Oh, man. Christian's going to see me cry at the Game Awards.
Take pictures.
Speaking of crying, Ro, the Battlefield developers may be crying a little bit. That was a great transition, right?
That was good.
Battlefield 2042 is getting some reinforcements, and there's a little bit more here that we're going to talk about as well. But apparently, Vince Zampella is now being put in charge of not Respawn. He's already in charge of Respawn, of DICE, which is the developer for Battlefield. So this is very interesting. He was already taking over DICE LA, I believe, and rebranding that as a different studio. So now he's actually taking all of Battlefield under his umbrella. And the new studio that Marcus Lato, who is of course, the creator of the Master Chief and worked at Bungie for so many years, he is actually working on story content for the future of Battlefield, which has me very excited because like even people were like mentioning like the possibility of like a new Battlefield Bad Company game being made by Marcus, and I'm like, yes, like Bad Company's humor, I loved it so much. EA at the time said after Battlefield Bad Company 2 came out, I remember them saying, we don't really know why Bad Company is so successful. Like, we don't know what's so great about the game. I'm like, it's what? It's great. It's hilarious. But yeah, Ro, what were your thoughts on this? Are you interested or excited that Vince Zampella is going to maybe help DICE out of this hole that they've kind of dug themselves into?
I don't know if excited is a word, but I do think it is a good move for sure because of how well he's done over at Respawn and with Apex and Titanfall and everything that's going on over there that's been so successful at EA. It's easy to see the like separations at EA that DICE isn't doing so hot and like BioWare is doing better, but it's just interesting to see that okay, this guy did a really good job here. Let's bring him here, and hopefully he could do what he's done here. So yeah, and EA has rightfully so given Respawn like more creative freedom. At least that's what they said in the past, because of how successful they are. So it is cool that they're bringing the person who led the charge to kind of hopefully fix things over at DICE. So I think that's great because, man, I was so excited for Battlefield 2042. You guys remember, like, we were pretty excited for it, and then it came and none of us really were that hyped about it when it actually arrived. I mean, Halo is another reason for that, but besides Halo, it didn't launch very well either. So hopefully Vince can shake things up over there.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, Halo definitely made Battlefield a casualty on my radar, and I didn't even end up buying it because of that, because I was like, man, of course, like you said, the reviews haven't been good for it, and yeah, the Halo effect. We've got Keurig Craft in the chat saying, "Sup, boys? What's up, Keurig? Thank you for joining us for this episode."
Hello. And my dad in the other chat, in the YouTube chat, he says 5 people are watching. That means 5 people could like the video. Help out the boys. He's absolutely right. You guys like the video. Subscribe for more.
I appreciate his hustle on that. That's great.
Oh man, and it worked. At least, I mean, I know I just now, and now it's at 5. Beautiful. Look what he did.
Wow.
Look what he did.
Thank you.
Oh man, that's funny.
The power of Rose Dad, everyone. Moving into our next story, Ro, PlayStation is reportedly working on a Game Pass competitor. This is interesting. Apparently, there's going to be 3 tiers that it's going to launch with. So, in comparison, Xbox Game Pass has 2 tiers, regular Game Pass and Ultimate. And it's also going to combine PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, which is interesting. It'll have a catalog of PS4 plus PS5 games, and the highest tier has PS1, PS2, PS3, and PSP games. So I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, Ro. So I think this is great for competition. From the early reports we're getting from this, it doesn't sound like it's going to include first party games day one, but it sounds like it may like have a revolving door, so to speak, of first party content coming in and out. I think the only thing that how much is this going to cost, I think, is what it's going to come down to, because obviously it doesn't directly compare to Game Pass, with Game Pass coming with first party content on day one. But it does include PlayStation Plus, which Game Pass Ultimate is the only thing that comes with PlayStation Plus. So it's like we kind of need more information to know like if this is going to be a good comparison. What do you think, Ro?
Yeah, I do think we need a little bit more to say that this is even going to be a Game Pass competitor. I do think that this is. I don't like the 3 tiers thing. I just wish it was just all included into one thing. But Game Pass has Ultimate as well, but I feel like it makes a little bit more sense with what they're offering. But again, we need more information to see maybe it does make sense having the tiers. I don't like that they're putting old games behind a paywall, but there has to be a way to get those old games. And if it's behind a paywall, I guess it's okay. But it does kind of suck at the same time. But I am excited to see what this looks like, because Game Pass is so great. We've been wanting something on PlayStation for a while now. PlayStation Now hasn't really been that. So hopefully this could bring something like Game Pass to PlayStation. So I'm definitely excited to see what it is. But right now, I still want a little bit more to know how I really feel about it. Because right now I'm a little lukewarm right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think it is kind of crappy to put backwards compatibility behind a paywall, because your direct competitor is not doing that. So. Yeah, but again, maybe the pricing is okay and we'll just forget about it, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. We've got a lot of chatting going on. We've got Glenn in the YouTube chat saying, "I liked the video before the episode started." Thank you, Glenn.
Dang.
You're the
Wow.
you're the you're the best. Keurig is in the Twitch chat saying, "I guess you guys might talk about this, but the video game awards are tomorrow." Yes, they are, and Christian is actually on a plane headed that way. He says, "See you guys. See you tomorrow, Dan. Bye, guys. I will see you tomorrow, Christian. See ya." Yes, Keurig, we're both going. Me and Christian are going to the Game Awards, and Ro, Gage, and I forget who else is joining you guys.
I think Brendan is his name.
Brandon, you're right. Brandon. Yes, those three will be live streaming the Game Awards as well on the channel. So yeah, check it out with everyone there. It's going to be very exciting. Yeah. Keurig also says they need to make a PS Vita 2. They left money on the table.
Oh my God. Yes, they should. I agree. I don't know if they're leaving money on the table. I would buy it. Yeah. I don't know how many other people would. I know there's a lot, but enough? Is it enough?
Yeah.
I say yes. I agree.
For sure. It's a good piece of hardware.
I agree.
Moving into our next story, Ro, this might be another one that you're happy about. More Destiny 2 content, as Destiny 2 is getting 30th anniversary stuff for Bungie's 30th birthday, and it is some cool stuff. This is just like a little bit that I had picked out, but I don't know if you know of more things, Ro, but they are including a Halo-like battle rifle and a Magnum. So like they have the same scopes and everything like the Halo Magnum and battle rifle have, which is super cool, and it looks very similar. So yeah, I'm super stoked that they got this content in there.
Yeah, obviously they can't name it straight up like Halo stuff, but yeah, it's definitely Halo-inspired weapons. They also have a sword that is half energy sword and half like not energy sword, but half of it is like the energy sword shape. It's so cool. It's such a cool weapon. I think there's like the I don't know the name of it, but this like the blue long it's purple actually. It's plasma gun sort of shape weapon. That's the new trace rifle in the game. So they've got a couple more Halo-inspired weapons than just these two. I'm blanking on the names, and I don't know Halo well enough to to maybe now. Have you seen them?
I just saw the sword. Oh my gosh, that looks sick.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And the event that they have right now, which is I'm blanking on the name for that one as well, but Zur is the NPC that oversees it. And it's a new 6-man activity, and it's a free one for this 30th anniversary thing. So some of the 30th anniversary is paid for, and half of it is free. And this event is free, and it's really good, and it's lots of fun. It replaces another 6-man activity called the Menagerie, which left the game a long time ago, but fans have been wanting something similar, and I think this really does fill that gap, and it's really fun. And yeah, Gjallarhorn is back as well. That's a huge one. I haven't gotten it yet, but Gjallarhorn is a very iconic Destiny weapon, so it's definitely an event when it returns. But yeah, I'm definitely I've played a little bit of the event, obviously, as you can tell. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the games we're playing later, or what you got for me.
I did see that they already sold out of the Gjallarhorn Nerf gun on their store. That's insane.
Oh man, they got some really cool stuff on there.
Yes, very cool. Moving into our next story row, BioShock 4 might have some new details here. Interesting. Apparently, it will have an Antarctic city setting, a 1960s time period. The city is called Borealis. It's still referred to internally as Parkside, which is interesting. And the game will link directly to previous BioShock games. That sounds awesome. And also in a follow-up tweet, he also says Cloud Chamber is supposedly targeting a 2022 release.
Whoa.
Does that mean, Ro, tomorrow?
Yeah. Maybe.
Especially with all these leaks, like, does that mean, like, that I feel like the timing of it is very well timed that it might be, like, a reveal tomorrow.
Heck yeah. That would be awesome. This is another series that I've admired from afar, because I've heard it's at least the first game. I've played Infinite, but I still need to play the first two. There's a collection. I should totally purchase it. But I was scared because I heard the first one was a little spooky, but it's not that bad. It's not a horror game or anything. But
it is a little spooky though.
It's a little spooky. Okay, so that's why I didn't play it the first time around. But I still want to give it a shot. But I'm excited for a BioShock 4 for sure, because I did enjoy Infinite. First-person shooters always have a uphill battle with me because I'm just not a fan of them usually. But I enjoyed BioShock Infinite for sure.
So you completed Infinite, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you saw like the end and tying back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it.
No. Yeah. Okay. Yes, the first game is fantastic, though, Ro. I definitely recommend you go back and play it.
Okay. I will someday.
All right.
I do like Borealis. Makes me think of like Aurora Borealis, obviously. So I'm wondering if it's like an icy place, or is it just really pretty colors, or who knows? We'll see. I guess maybe we'll see tomorrow.
Absolutely. Agreed. Ro, now we're going to dive into a little bit of a rant here by me. And this was going to be the part where Gage and me were going to go back and forth, but I guess that's not going to happen now. But anyways, Bloomberg dropped a report today. Of course, the timing is convenient, Ro, that today's Halo Infinite's launch day, and Jason Schreier from Bloomberg decides to drop this story about Halo Infinite's development that he's been working on for a while. So, a couple things. I went into this. I'm not a huge Jason Schreier fan. I think he gets a lot of scoops in the industry, and he just doesn't necessarily illustrate those points correctly, in my opinion. And I just don't like some of the things that he does. So I was going into this like, all right, I'm going to read this and just, get an idea for what he's saying here and see like his perspective on the whole thing and see what he says. Literally, I'm not kidding you. The first paragraph, the last sentence of the first paragraph says this. The trailer showed off an expanded playing field and new weapons, but gamers immediately fixated on the graphics, which were so blocky that cynical fans began to joke that Xbox must have mixed up its Halo and Minecraft franchises. What? Like, number one, I never saw a single person, cynical or non-cynical Halo fan, that said that the gameplay from last year's E3 looked like Minecraft. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Maybe like a PlayStation fanboy out there maybe said something like that, like, oh, this is like Minecraft. No freaking Halo fan said this. There was tons of Halo fans that were, clamoring about the fidelity and saying it wasn't high enough quality, and it definitely showed, and I agree with that. But saying it's like Minecraft? What? Am I crazy in thinking this, Ro? Like, reading that sentence just put me off from reading the whole article.
It's definitely hyperbolic. I'm sure people did say that, but I don't think it is a fair assessment. I think those people are also being hyperbolic, obviously. But it's definitely a way to start an article, and I'm sure that's the point, to either reel somebody in or in your case turn somebody off completely. But it obviously didn't look like Minecraft the first time. I'm obviously not the target audience for Halo anything, but when I saw it the first time around, I was one of the few people who didn't think it looked that bad. Yeah. Obviously, it looks a lot better now, but Minecraft is definitely a stretch for sure. But I'm sure I do think people would make that comparison, but I don't think they were ever being serious. They're obviously just trying to ruffle some feathers.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And the people doing it most likely weren't fans of Halo. Like they're hating to.
And that's what he said, Halo fans. Yeah.
Yeah. But to his credit, his article the headline is how Microsoft's Halo Infinite went from disaster to triumph. So I'm not trying to hate on him or anything, but I read that part of it and I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So he does go into many of the things that people talked about last year and how 343 and Microsoft had to figure out what was going on. He essentially said that Joe Staten saved Halo Infinite essentially because he came in last year to replace Chris I've lost his name. Chris, who used to work at 343, but he no longer works there. He was the studio head before Joe took over. But he essentially says in his article that Joe saved Halo Infinite and turned it completely around and got them back on track. That he focused them on the things that needed to launch and obviously pushed back the things that weren't ready, like the co-op campaign, Forge, etc. And essentially got this thing ready to go. And this game came out, and as we'll talk about in the next article here, it's worked out for them. So it's obviously very good to see this happen. And there is one thing that Schreier also said, that there was talk, and we heard this from Phil Spencer last year as well. There was talk that they released the multiplayer first, and then later release the campaign, and then they would, release the final product or whatever when the campaign's out. Well, apparently this guy named Brad Sams on Twitter, which I got into a little spat with him because I'm like, dude, you're not understanding what he's saying. So Brad Sams was one of the people that set me off so bad last year in 2020, in fall 2020, when I made my video that I had pinned as my Twitter pin for a very long time because it pissed me off so bad. He was giving inaccurate information. He was posting that 343 was considering releasing campaign first and then releasing multiplayer later. So backwards from what we just said. He was saying that was going to happen. And 343 had clarified back then and said, no, we've never had that discussion, because Halo fans were freaking out because multiplayer is almost more important in Halo because the longevity of it. So fans were like, no, we want multiplayer at launch. So that's why multiplayer being first is important. That's very important detail. And Brad Sams tweets today, after my initial report that multiplayer and single player might not ship at the same time, I got slammed by 343 calling my report unsubstantiated and that the game shipping as 2 parts was 100% false and no such plan had ever happened. That's not what you said, Brad. In his tweet here, he says that multiplayer and single player might not ship at the same time. That's not what he said. What he said was that multiplayer would ship first and then single player would ship after I'm sorry, I just said it backwards. Yeah. Campaign would ship first and multiplayer would come out after. And that was what he said in 2020. And 343's response was also not what he said. 343's response was, where is it? Hang on. Sorry. I gotta find it. Here we go. Sam's unsubstantiated report in late July was 100% false and no such plan or discussion had ever happened. Campaign was never going to ship without multiplayer, period. So campaign was never going to ship without multiplayer. That means they were never going to release multiplayer or campaign without multiplayer. Brad Sams literally said that they were going to release campaign without multiplayer. And he's saying that, they're just discrediting me because the reason they said I was 100% wrong is that no such plan had ever happened. Campaign was never going to ship without multiplayer, period. That is now proven false with Bloomberg today. No, Bloomberg said the exact same thing where campaign was never going to ship without multiplayer. They were never going to release the campaign first. They told you that 100% multiplayer would never release first.
They're all over the place.
It's just, yes. And I probably described that in the most poor way possible because it's very confusing going back and forth, but it's, yes, infuriating.
Oh man. Well, at least it's here. People love it, as we'll get to, but my God, it is always upsetting when it's covered incorrectly, and I understand.
Thank you, Ro. And the reason why I said Gage is because Gage, you retweeted Brad Sams, and he has wrong information, Gage.
Cool.
But anyway, moving into our final news story, Ro, talking about Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's reviews have hit, and the reviews have been very positive on campaign. And obviously, we had already gotten some multiplayer reviews, but now this is all the reviews aggregated. And we're getting lots of good scores. IGN gave it a 9, which that's Ryan McCaffrey, who reviewed the campaign. They had already given multiplayer a 9 as well. So very good there. Game Informer gave it a 9.25, GameSpot 9, VentureBeat 5. There's so many good reviews. It is at an 87 on Metacritic, or 86 now. I guess when he tweeted this, it was 87, but now it's 86. But anyways, that's very positive. And I feel like it's very hard to get any franchise that's been around for a very long time. It's hard to get something where people say, this is a masterpiece. It's just, I don't see it happening as much anymore. You usually see those Red Deads. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2 is is the exception, not the norm. But usually sequels don't necessarily get the best, reviews. You don't go up in review scores. Does that make sense? So 86, very happy with that. The campaign, they have talked very highly of it. Ro, are you gonna jump into the campaign at all?
Yes, I have. Yes.
I guess we'll talk about it in the game we're playing.
For sure.
Okay.
But I'm glad that it's getting good reviews for all those Halo fans out there, getting satisfied with this. They've been waiting for a while, so I'm finally here, and it's good.
Yes, agreed. What about now, PlayStation fanboys? There's no games on Xbox. Halo.
Oh God, they're still saying that. Don't worry.
That's true.
Yeah, no matter how many games Xbox gets.
That's true. All right, moving into what you got for me. Ro, I'll let you start since I've been blabbering for too long here.
Okay. Well, then I won't start with Halo. Then I will start with Fortnite. I have been playing recently, as well. The new season started, and I had enough V Bucks. I was like, why not? I'll get the battle pass. I had some V Bucks saved up from the months and months ago I played last.
Now, Ro,
And
tell the
yeah,
audience why you got the battle pass.
right. I got it because Spider-Man was at it. And it looks fun to swing around in Fortnite as Spider-Man, and the suit looks really fun. So yeah, I got the battle pass, and that really is one of the main reasons why I got it. We will have to wait until I think level 70 is when you get Spider-Man, or yeah. But they have this new system, which may have been, maybe it's not new. Maybe it was there last season too. But the battle stars that you get for leveling up in the battle pass, you get to choose what you unlock, and if you unlock a certain amount of things, the next level opens up. So you don't even have to reach level 70. You just have to claim a bunch of stuff, and then you could eventually get Spider-Man by unlocking other previous things. So I think that's really cool that you get to pick and choose what you want, and potentially get the later rewards faster. So I think that's cool. And the gameplay is fun. I like the meta that they have right now. I don't know what they call it, but I know it's different from the previous one where we're using different guns. And I'm having fun. I got a victory royale yesterday, and I got a really cool emote with it. And it like, you get, if you win with the crown, which I did, you get like a nice little emote and an umbrella, which you always do. But the emote like shows how many victory royales you have. I have one. I will never get any more than that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's a really cool way to like to boast about your skills. So I thought that was really cool. And after that, I played Destiny 2. I'm back on the Destiny 2 bandwagon. I talked a little bit about it. We talked a little bit about it earlier already. The 30th anniversary for Bungie is this year, and they're celebrating it in Destiny with Halo themed stuff and a new event and a new dungeon and the return of Gjallarhorn from Destiny 1. So yeah, lots of cool stuff are going on in Destiny right now, and not to mention there's another event coming around the corner for Christmas time, which is called the Dawning. So it's a good time in Destiny after it being in a very in a lull period. So it's good that they shot it with a little bit of life right now. So that's awesome, because Witch Queen is right around the corner. So very exciting time for Destiny fans. And what else did I write down? Genshin Impact. Don't have to talk about that a lot. I'm playing Genshin Impact. That's really all I have to say about that. And yeah, Halo Infinite. I started. I played that. I did say that I was going to play the first 4 Halos before I dove into that, but here we are. I'm playing Halo Infinite right now. I can't again. I think I should have played them, because there are a lot of really cool moments that are happening that I enjoy, and I think for the most part I understand. But I obviously would get a lot more out of it if I had played the other games. Just like how I talked about Uncharted 4. Like, sure, you could play it, but you won't get the same out of it as Daniel or Gage would if you had played the original games, because there's some really cool moments. Like, there's music cues that are happening that I'm like, oh, this is really nice. I like this. But I'm sure Dan is like tearing up at this moment, getting chills, and I'm just like, this is cool, but it's not hitting me the same way. But so that's the only downside of playing it now. But besides that, it's a fun game. Yeah.
Very fun. Very fun. Yeah. Well, just piggybacking on that, Row. Infinite's campaign, right from the get-go, I was like, oh my god, yes. The whole opening cinematic I absolutely loved, and I'm not going to spoil anything, because I don't want anyone here to have the experience ruined for them, because obviously that opening cutscene has a very big spoiler right from the get-go. So but with that being said, like, it was just so cool to see like some of these characters interacting with one another, and I'm just trying to be vague here, and seeing like the emotion, like just playing like certain moments, like I had like this emotional response, and it wasn't like, it wasn't an emotional response to like, death or something, or like someone dying or something like that. So it's not spoilerish or anything. It was just like the emotional impact of like what was happening. I was just like, you open up this door and you see the vast world in front of you, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is just incredible. Like, I found myself just getting really emotional in like many aspects of the game, and it's just so good. I just love it so much so far.
It's like a Breath of the Wild moment
Yeah.
for it to open up like that, and I got emotional for the scene in Breath of the Wild. So I can't imagine how Halo for moments like that. Glenn in the chat just wanted to ask how many hours have we played so far. I think I'm about 3 hours, maybe less than that honestly, but 3 hours max right now. I think I'm like 2 missions in after the opening part, so I'm like in the big area now, but 2 missions deep into that. What about you, Dan?
So in terms of missions, I'm probably not that much further ahead of you, but I have like almost 5 hours in. I've just been roaming around the open world,
exploring a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the exact opposite I said I was going to do, because I was like, I've got to, I don't want the campaign spoiled for me or anything, right. But I'm like, man, I just have to explore this world. It's so freaking beautiful. I love it. And like, there's so many things you can do, like capturing outposts and getting your armor cores to upgrade your Spartan, which I highly recommend, by the way. That helps a lot. Get your grapple shot upgraded to that tier where it recharges faster. It's way better.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I will do that.
Yes, it's just so fun. Like, in the grapple shot, honestly, is like one of the best parts of the game. Like, it literally... Like, Ro, it literally is. You just talked about Breath of the Wild. It literally is Breath of the Wild, because you can literally climb whatever you want with the freaking grapple hook. Once you get that recharge upgrade, you literally can climb whatever you want. Like, nothing is limited. And it's so freaking insane. And like, I love it. I love it so much.
I've had some fun moments with the grappling hook too. Like, obviously grabbing the coils on the ground, like the little energy baskets that you can like throw at the enemies. Doing that all the time. Grappling a brute and then punching them is super fun too. Yes. And obviously climbing up stuff is super fun. I kicked like a brute off of his vehicle once. Like, stuff like that is just super fun to do when you're in the moment of the battle and just like bouncing off of one thing after another. Super fun.
The physics, Ro, is super fun too. Like, the physics, like, if you use the grapple shot and then like you crouch right as you hit the ground, you slide also, and you freaking slide like really far with the grapple shot momentum. It's so freaking awesome. Like, there's so many moments like that. It's great. It is really great. And I love
the you would teach things about it.
Yeah. I like the progression as well, like through the campaign. Like, you earn like points as you earn valor points as you do certain things in the world, like saving Marines and stuff like that. And as you do that, you unlock different things that you can call in from the Pelican. Like, you can unlock more vehicles, more weapons, higher rated Marines. You get Marines like with rocket launchers in the later tiers, which I'm getting close to actually already. So yeah, I love it. I love everything about it, Ro, so far. I'm
so happy.
So happy. And yeah, the story, so much better than Halo 5. It's not even funny. I also find the audio logs. Like, the audio logs have cool stuff as well, which, again, that might lead back to your point where you probably should have played the other ones, because the audio logs actually give more backstory of like previous characters that we know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been finding the audio logs. Everything that they're saying is totally going over my head, though. But I've been looking for them.
Yeah, for sure. But that's enough Halo Infinite. I don't need to talk forever on that. It's fantastic though, and I'm sure we will still be talking about it next week, and I'll be talking about it for many weeks to come. But the other thing I've been playing, Ro, is also Fortnite. But I didn't play the new season. I played the event on Saturday.
Oh, I missed that. How was that?
Yeah, it was actually very interesting. I thought it was very cool. It's been a long time since I played like one of those events, and I don't know how many I've missed or anything like that, but this one was super cool. I thought it was interesting how they start you in this big group and you're fighting this one like bad guy, and he's bringing in ships and everything, which I don't know anything what's going on because I haven't played Fortnite in many seasons, but they're throwing all these things at you, and then all of a sudden everybody gets sent down underground, and you're like hunkered down in a bunker, and you're with the Rock's character, and I'm like, oh my god, this is actually cool. And it sends you like with a squad of like 4 other human players, which I thought was really cool. You're like in these mini squads with them, so it felt like a little more personal. And yeah, it was super cool. And then it got to the part where we were just floating in the ocean, and I'm like, wait, is it over, or what do I do here? So I guess the floating in the ocean, I guess, was the end of the season, waiting for the next season to begin.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So
that sounds cool. I wish I had seen that or played that. That sounds cool.
Yes. Glenn says in the chat, Dan means he'll be talking about it for many years to come. That's true. That's very true.
Absolutely. It'll be his game of the year in 2025 or
yeah. We'll be doing Game Awards reactions, and I'll say best ongoing game, Roro. Halo Infinite got snubbed.
That's what you've been doing for Master Chief.
I have. Yeah, last year. I think I still don't understand why that didn't get nominated last year, Jeff. Come on now. I mean, I'll have a word with him when I'm here tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. I won't even talk to Jeff Keighley, guys. I don't. Yeah.
No. Never know.
So that's the end of the show, guys. No topic of the show this week. I'm ending it early because I got to get up early tomorrow, very early, for a flight at 6 a.m. Not looking forward to it. Got to be at the airport at 4 a.m.
Oh, man.
Not good, bro.
All right. Sleep.
Anything else before we close out the show, bro?
No. I'm so excited for you, dude. You and Chris see the Game Awards live. Hey, have a good flight. Fly safe. I'm sure I'll talk to you before the Game Awards, but fly safe and enjoy, dude. It's going to be awesome.
Yes, thank you. It is going to be insane, and I'm happy to come back and watch your guys' reactions later as well. So
I'll be losing my mind over the Sonic trailer, and you guys will be like, "What the hell is going on?" Right?
Yes.
Oh man.
So make sure you guys tune in. Podcast PXN tomorrow night. I believe the show starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I think there is a pre-show a half hour before that, so I'm not sure how early you guys will be on, but 8 o'clock.
At least I'll probably do the pre-show, maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure if Gage and Brennan will be there for that, but I might be on as early as possible. I'm so hyped.
Sweet deal. All right. Come back tomorrow, everyone. And thank you, everyone, for coming out and joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. Thank you, Ro. I am Daniel, and this has been Podcast PXN, and we are out. Much love, and keep on gaming.
Yeah.